6 years ago, a woman stepped onto this boat knowing absolutely nothing about her. Today, she's the one in charge. Now, this is a 60-year-old steel car ferry. She's got quirks nobody teaches you in a textbook, and somehow Erin learned every single one of them. I used to be the skipper on this boat. Now I hand her the wheel, and I go sit in another country. Today, she's telling me how that happened. The good days, and also the days where the anchor nearly stayed on the bottom of the bay, and what 6 seasons on the rock actually does to you. I always think it's quite weird now because when I step on the boat, you're the one in charge. And she is a 60-year-old boat, so she's got some quirks, and I find it quite fascinating how you stepped on knowing nothing about her, and then over the years learned all her quirks, where she's strong, the little fine nuances of the older vessel, etc., and just basically chat about that and your story going forward, because I know a lot of it, but I don't know all of it, especially the last 2 to 3 years.
Needed a change in my life, so seeing the job online, just went for it because, you know me, I love below deck, and I thought, yes, this is right up my alley. So yeah, and then I think also coming on, being more of a senior on the boat, I would say, I just kind of slipped into that role, and then just from, I think, shadowing you, which was really helpful when I first started on the boat, and just learning and navigating, as you said, the quirks of such a unique boat.
She has got
like
character. I think that's why we love her. She's a bit there. So when you first stepped on the boat, not as a guest, but as a crew member, what did you think the job would involve?
I knew it would be obviously hospitality, which I had quite a big background in. I didn't realize you would be covering all sorts, from dropping anchor to picking up moorings to relieving driving if the driver needs to go to the loo or anything like that, to learning how to drive just the small tenders in the beginning. So that definitely nothing like I was expecting. I just thought I was coming on board to do dishes and make beds pretty much.
There's a lot of kind of deckhand jobs on boats where people literally just, they click a clicker, they invite people on, they serve some drinks, and we're so much more overarching than that. There's so many different elements to the role, and as you're right, you soon learn you're going to do all of them.
Oh yeah, all of it. And don't get me wrong, even as the captain now, I still get in and do those dishes.
I think you're right. My theory was always never ask somebody to do something you're not willing to do yourself. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Definitely the approach to take. I mean, it's interesting, obviously, over that period of time. We're talking to skippers now, but obviously right back at the beginning then, was there a moment where you went, I can skipper this boat? Or did it kind of just creep up as the years went by?
I wasn't expecting to actually love the job and stay with it for as long as I did. And as I said, you get people come and go, and I was still here. And yeah, I could just see myself actually working my way up into that leadership role. And then also with you being like, hey, let's do this, let's get your ticket and let's get going, was kind of, I think, the confidence boost I needed, because if you can see I can do it, then yeah, there's a turning moment then where it was like, actually, yeah, I think of this.
I think that's when you mentioned it before. I mean, I'm not too sure about the word senior, but you mentioned senior earlier on, and I think you're right. At the time, I think we had quite a young group of crew, didn't we? They would have been about 20 to 25. Looking for different things, maybe not career moves, just in that kind of tourist mode. The way you stepped in, I don't know if it's life experience, the rest of it. You had some potential, as it were, and I went, I see something here.
Yeah, I think we both kind of clicked at the same time.
Common values, common love of the ocean.
Yeah, and love of this boat.
I always think it's fascinating, the boat. Like, I love the boat, but she's constantly changing because every single person that steps on her just seems to leave something. And I don't mean in some spiritual way always, but there's just... yeah, she just builds in character all the time. She's got her own character, but there's so many thousands of people that have been through, and that means crew and guests, that it just seems to build and build, and yeah, that's what I love about her.
Definitely a good energy.
So talking of, this is a funny one, I think, because I've probably got a few stories, but talking of good energy, can you recall a time, because we were saying how quirky she is, some things aren't perfect, can you recall a time when something went properly wrong, and it was all up to you to fix that situation?
One memory is very vivid, and had a whole lot of guests on the boat. They're anchored up in a beautiful spot. You got the music playing, we're bringing up the anchor, heard an unusual sound. Now, as a skipper, you're like, turn down the music. What is that sound? That the sound is not normal. And just hear hissing of a pipe. And of course, we burst in hydraulic hose to the anchor drum, which obviously brings the anchor up, which means we can't bring the anchor up. We're kind of stuck out there with guests on board and out at the islands. But it's kind of, you're only as good as your crew, really, as when you're coming up with all these ideas. So I did like to, if anything like that happens, also get them involved, their input, what's their problem solving for the situation. And then we'll got her fixed with a little bit of number 8 wire ingenuity here, as we call it in New Zealand. And finally, 2 hours later, got the guests home. But at that moment of, oh, okay, this is all on me. Like, pretty much at the end of the day, it's my say. So that's a little scary, but as I learned from you, Jonny, just keep it cool.
Doesn't matter what's going on the inside.
Just keep it cool.
Eh?
Exactly. So I think that would probably be one of the worst situations, but out of what can happen at sea, that's not too bad.
Was that one of the factors that built your confidence even more, though, when you come across something like that and you go, you know what? I've got concerns, but I found a solution. I fixed it. Everyone's happy and everyone's safe.
And no better feeling.
Epic. So you talk about one little kind of headache like that, and obviously we know there's a few little bits and bobs here with a 60-year-old vessel that basically you just deal as you go. Compared to modern brand new vessels, what does this specific boat ask of you or any other skipper that other vessels don't?
A strong arm to steer it. I think it's more reading the weather, reading what's around you, because we don't have that technology where there's alarms going off here for boats coming close. It's all, you've got to be onto it. Your crew have got to be onto it. You've got to be on the lookout. You've got to be prepared for weather. She's a big boat as well, so you've got to think about tides. How strong is the currents, things like that. Compared to other boats, as you said, push a button, autopilot, here we go. Yeah, she's a lot more hands-on.
I think you're taught as a skipper, aren't you, to always plan ahead, make sure there's enough water, fuel, do all the engine checks and the rest of it. But when you've got an older vessel, the likelihood that maybe something's going to come up is a little bit different, or the engines are designed in a different way, so you take in those factors like weather, etc. And I think you've joined a unique club of people that know how to drive the Rock. What was she before? The Rafferty, the Normville, or she was working as a car ferry. And I've met some of the older skippers now that are captains that have since retired, and they all say, "Oh, you can drive that boat. It means something. Bringing a flash new boat in with bow thrusters and tech stuff to a wharf is one thing. This vessel, no, you've nailed it. You're one of a small team.
If you can drive this, you can pretty much drive anything."
It's interesting. The principles are the same. That's why we start with a dinghy. All boats can move are the same, but you're right. Windage, different character, different revs, the rest of it. Yeah, I do miss her. When I drive other boats, it's a bit like, yeah, you miss that character of the Rock.
It's fun, but you can't feel it. You're not one with the boat.
I'm surprised we don't look like those crabs with a big arm, because there's so much kind of like force on the big steering wheel. But I miss it.
I know, it's quite funny when guests come up and then they want to drive the boat. You're like, okay, go on, have a go. And then like, whoa, okay, all right. This is not easy.
Yeah, a little bit different. I think people are used to just kind of a little steering wheel on a little tinny or on a little tiller arm on an outboard. And yeah, there's so much more to think about. Definitely. That's awesome. Well, you've been a part of hundreds of cruises now over the years, yeah? So can you think of
Yes.
Is there a guest moment that really sticks with your mind, or a moment on the water that you can think about?
There's quite a few heart-touching moments. You get people from all over the world. I remember this Indian couple never swum in the ocean before, and they were so nervous, and they almost weren't going to do it. And we just, it's okay, just take your time. But then they've seen other people getting in, having fun, realize, oh, hang on, no, we've come on this boat, let's do this. And to see them get a life jacket on, get in the water, and their faces just lighting up, and they were just like, oh my God, we're floating. And it was just, they get out of the water and they just were beaming all night, the whole night. Just that kind of stuff really does.
There's one thing being a skipper on the boat, but being a part of those experiences, and just when somebody does something they've never tried before, and as you say, not peer, well, I suppose there's a little bit of peer in there because there's a lot of other people doing it, but just building that confidence, making them feel comfortable in doing it. No, it's awesome memories that it picks up. Yeah. And you've got a few of those, you say. I'll come back to you with those.
A lot. Also, I just, people's faces when they see dolphins or orcas, or they catch a big fish. They've never caught a fish before. There's just so many times.
Yeah, I still remember catching my first fish as a child. I was in France at the time with my dad. And then when I came to New Zealand and caught a fish, and yeah, I caught something about this big now to a kiwi. That's not anything special, but I thought I was feeding everybody before it was carefully pointed out, handled nicely, cut the hook out, and just let it go. I don't think I've caught a big enough fish to be proud of, actually. Oh, actually, no, I do. One snapper, but that was off the mooring. That's another story. It's a little bit of a worry when you go on so many fishing trips, and the biggest fish I've ever caught is off the back of the rock, on its mooring.
The same with me. Well, doing maintenance. I left the line out, come back, and
yes. Yeah,
got a monster. Yeah.
Good fishing. So, with you living and working up in the bay and having been there so long, and you spend a lot of time on the water, on the boat, when you're off the boat, where do you go? Is there an activity you like to do, or somewhere you like to visit?
It's quite funny because a lot of my friends who own boats didn't want to take me out on their boat. So it could be fishing, going to an island, but at least I'm not the skipper and I just can relax and kick my feet up and not have to stress. But also there's some brilliant walks here in the Bay of Islands where you don't need to go out to the islands. There's a beautiful walk to Long Beach and Russell, Paihia to Opua, and then the bike trail to Kawakawa. It's all pretty special, and it's quite dog friendly too. So if you've got mates of dog, take them for a walk, get my little ferry fix.
Any excuse. Who walks who, though? I think it's the other way around, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when I think about it, there is quite a few walks. I like doing some of the trail runs and some of the longer ones, but you're right, even just the coastal walks up to Waitangi, there's the views you get are just epic, and you don't even have to go that far.
No, right on our doorstep. We're very lucky.
So you see the Bay of Islands from the water, on the water perspective, throughout every season, throughout the entirety of the year. What is it that this place does to people that they don't expect to visit?
There's a few bays that are just so special. The Oki Bay, it's just gorgeous. And then if you get to go out in the hole in the rock on your own little boat, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
so
avoid the crowds. Yeah. It's a good one early in the morning. Yeah, we talk about the water a lot, obviously, because that's what we spend most of our time doing. But if someone came to you and they said, right, I've got an afternoon off, I'm in the Bay of Islands, and I want to do something that I'm not going to be told what to do from the information centre, or that I'm going to find on a list, what would you recommend they do if they had a few hours to spare in an afternoon? Or
I would say, honestly, go to the beach here. That's pretty beautiful, but then wait till it gets a bit dark. And something that I've never seen anywhere on a list is the glowworms. So there's a beautiful track up School Road in Paihia where you can see the glowworms and even listen out for a kiwi. It's pretty special, and who doesn't like adventure?
Well, that's the track at the back of School Road, isn't it, where Baybush Action's done all the work, and it's just a gravelly track run by Doc, isn't it? Yeah. Awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I hadn't even thought about that one. I forget about those little things. You get so used to it. People ask you a question, you go like, well, you do this, and then the little bits like that. That's the insider secrets. I like it. So, speaking of you, obviously, in your experience, a lot of people come and work on the boat. They do a season. Some people do 2, and generally speaking, they move on. They go on to great things, as we both know, and we keep in touch with them. But what is it about the rock, about this boat, this experience, and the job that keeps you here, that you love doing?
I don't know what's not good about it, to be honest. I get to wake up on the water, go fishing, meet awesome people, different people on every cruise from all over the world, to forming really good friendships with crew. They become like family. So that's another plus. And also, yeah, you can't beat life on a boat. Like, you got dolphins going past, you got beautiful sunsets. But the job, yes, with a lot of responsibility, it can be quite tough sometimes, but at the end of the day, for me, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. Being able to stay on this boat is pretty choice.
I appreciate what you're saying there. There's a level of responsibility, and that's always in the back of your mind. And obviously, you have a job to do, as it were. But yeah, it's those little bits like that, the waking up on the water, or the bond between whether it be the guests or the crew. And as you say, it's exactly what you're trying to show the guests, and what they experience is exactly what you just described there. Is what you love about the water and everything else is exactly what they get to experience each time.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
You've built up a good rapport with a lot of good quality people over in Matofi Bay, Paihia moorings, and the rest of it. There is so many people that live on the boats up that way. And I think you're right. There's definitely a team feel between boaties out there.
A community.
So if that's you and your community, as it were, and that's your experience of the bay, I like to ask this. When you see guests step on the boat and they're a little bit nervous, maybe it's something completely new, certainly not even just sleeping on a boat, but just stepping on a boat for some people. When they step on and they're a little bit, don't really know what I'm in for here. What is it about the experience what is it about that experience for them that you really enjoy watching as they, over that period of time?
I think it is just seeing that progression of them coming on. They're very nervous, and they even tell you, hey, look, I'm really nervous, I'm not good on boats. And so you're like, look, hey, we've got you, we'll look after you, here's our crew, these are their names. And I think they realise she's such a sturdy boat. We're not out there rocking and rolling, we're out there in beautiful weather. I think they just get a sense of home also when they step on. It's a very unique feel of the boat. As you said, it's got character, it's got heart, it's got mana on this boat. And I think they pick up on that, and then they get to their room and they can get comfortable. And I think it's just a progression over time. And then they might have a glass of wine to kill the nerves, or chat with someone else who's feeling a little bit nervous. And by the end of the trip, they're like, oh, can I grab a kayak? And they're out kayaking. And just, I think it's a slow progression, but you can definitely tell from the first 5 minutes when someone walks on that they're nervous, that they're scared, that they're worried. And it doesn't take long for that to slowly fade.
That's nice. And what's the interaction like from the people who are a bit more boaty, to just step on the boat and they're super chill in the first place? Do people blend nicely between the two?
Yeah, like all the guests seem to come together. They all talk and chat, and so you'll have one couple talking to another couple. One will be boaties, the others won't, and they'll share experiences. And also, you get other boaties come on and they walk around and, oh, nice motor that. Is that the chart plotter there? The typical boatie I'm talking about. And I think people then just realise, hey, there's other people who know boats on this boat as well.
I giggled to myself a little bit when you said that type. Then generally it's the person that comes up to the skipper and wants to talk to you at the helm. And I always found it fascinating at the beginning. And then I'm that person. Any boat I go on, I can't help it. I migrate towards where the captain is, where the skipper is, and want to chat to her, him, whichever, and just ask about the boat and the day and the rest of it. And I think once you love the water, you can't help but want to share stories and hear stories.
Yeah, and learn.
I certainly learned a bit over the few years, so I think I still do now. So you've got me all keen about coming back. You get to run the boat all the time now, and I'm the one sitting behind the computer. I think we might need to mix this up a little bit.
I don't know, you're going to have to fight me for that skipper's chair. You can keep your tech work.
Yeah, I think you've earned that seat now. I'll just sit back. But how many months is it? I'll be coming back soon anyway. So what have we got? July, August, October. Yeah, October.
We're blessed with your company on the boat, eh?
If I come back, are you going to let me spend some time at the helm?
Or maybe if I need to go to the toilet or anything, make a feed, maybe.
I'll drop into that crew 2 role, making a cup of tea, bringing it over. Skip, you need anything?
That sounds good to me.
Lovely to chat to you, Erin. I better leave you to it now anyway. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in October.
Awesome. Looking forward to it, Jonny. You look after yourself.
Erin. Thank you, Erin. 6 years, 1 skipper's ticket, and more hydraulic hoses than either of us want to count. That's the thing about this boat. Everyone who steps on leaves something behind and takes something with them. This is one of the stories we're telling this season. There's more crew to come, the people who built her in the first place, and some of the guests too. because some of the best stories in this boat aren't ours to tell. They're theirs. If you want to write your own chapter on the rock, the link's below. In the meantime, hit subscribe so you don't miss out where this goes.